Good afternoon. Today we are going to look at how to draw a perfectly competitive firm in the short run that makes profit. Now you can see that we separated into the market and the firm. So we'll start with drawing perfectly competitive market first. In order to do that, we'll draw price axis and the quantity axis. Note that quantities are quite large, and that's why I've indicated this as thousands, indicating that it's actually a large number. So we'll have a normal downward sloping demand curve. So this is our market demand. Normal upward sloping supply curve, and this is our market supply. The intersection of market demand and market supply gives us the equilibrium price that prevails in the marketplace at that point in time. So this is PE, or the equilibrium market price. Now we go into drawing the firm. So we have the price axis, we have the quantity axis, and as you can see, the quantity is now in hundreds, indicating that it's a smaller number than the market. And we also know that perfectly competitive firm is a price taker, meaning to say that it cannot really set the price. It can only take the price that prevails at that point in time in the marketplace. So in order to do it, we're basically transferring the price from the marketplace. So the PE will give us a perfectly competitive firm's perfectly elastic demand curve, which is also going to be firm's average revenue curve, and under perfect competition it's also going to be equal to marginal revenue curve. So in fact we see that we have that equality of P equals to AR also equal to MR. The next step would be to draw a marginal cost curve, which is basically drawn as a Nike tick. So let's just do it. So just do it. So the marginal cost curve is basically falling in the beginning, then the diminishing marginal return set in, and then it starts rising. And at the intersection of marginal revenue and marginal cost curve, so marginal revenue is our straight line demand, which is also our marginal revenue, equal to marginal cost at this point here. So marginal revenue equals marginal cost is a profit maximizing condition. And the reason why this point is going to maximize profit is because at the level of output Q star, we're basically capturing all this area where marginal cost is lower than marginal revenue. So basically you can see that the positive difference between marginal revenue and marginal cost is captured when we are producing at Q star level of output. Now the next step is basically showing where is our profit. And in order to do that, we need average total cost. So in order to draw average total cost, we basically need to remember that average total cost is a parabola. So in fact, it falls in the beginning for a typical firm, and then it starts rising with the lowest or a minimum point sitting on marginal cost. So let's just draw our average total cost. And as you can see, the lowest point is sitting on marginal cost, but we're not interested in that point at the moment. We're interested at what our average total cost is going to be at the level of output Q star, or this point here. So the reason why we're interested in that point is because we're interested in the difference between the price at which we are selling the product and the per unit cost, which is basically an average total cost of that product being sold or being produced. So if we now project ourselves to the price axis, we get a dollar figure of what our per unit cost or average total cost is. Now you can see that the blue rectangle is our total revenue, and the reason why it's a total revenue is because it's a multiplication of the price, which is also equal to our average revenue, and the quantity Q star. So that gives us this blue area here. So this is our total revenue. The green rectangle is a total cost, because in order to obtain total cost, we can simply multiply our per unit cost by the number of units produced, which is Q star. And that gives us a total cost. Now, the difference between the blue rectangle and the green rectangle is this difference here. We can color it in red. Is going to be our profit. Because at this stage we are producing Q star, because this is the quantity that maximizes our profits at the profit maximizing level, and the difference between the price at which we are selling the product and the average total cost is the profit per unit, which we're basically multiplying by the number of units in order to obtain the total profit. So let's indicate it as profit. This profit can also be called economic profit or supernormal profit. And let's see, our profit is equal to total revenue minus total cost, which is also can be recorded as price multiplied by quantity, which is the same as total revenue, minus average total cost multiplied by the quantity. In both cases, our quantity is our profit maximizing quantity Q star. If we modify our formula further, you can see that this difference between price and average total cost multiplied by the Q star will give us our profit. And finally, we can summarize this by saying that when the price, which is also equal to our average revenue, so this is our market price, which is equal to our average revenue, at the Q star level, so this point here, yeah, so that point here indicates our price and and average revenue, sorry, at the level of Q star. When it's higher, more than average total cost at the level of output Q star, the supernormal profit is made. Until next time, goodbye.